Hi hand readers, Jennifer here, longtime practitioner, teacher and author of everything to do with hands and hand reading. I'm based in Johannesburg. Today's topic is the healing stigmata, also known as the Samaritan lines or the medical stigmata. Before we get into the meanings for the healing stigmata, let's talk about the caduceus. As you can see in this image, it comprises of two snakes winding around an often winged staff, and it was the staff traditionally carried in mythology by Hermes or Mercury. Of course, Hermes is the Greek name for the Roman god Mercury. And this is the symbol for medicine, as I'm sure you know. It also associates with alchemy and wisdom. In the hands, Mercury is represented in the pad of flesh underneath our baby fingers and in the fingers themselves. These healing stigmata or Samaritan lines or medical stigmata, as you see in this image, are comprised of the array of several vertical lines, and they are above the beginning of the waterline, which is the heart line, and they ray over Mercury mounts to the underneath of the air fingers. As you see, the energies are flowing upwards as if to express through the baby finger. When we see these vertical lines on Mercury mounts in hands, we will immediately be able to tell that the owner is drawn towards healing both people and animals, and that they'd be good at dialogue therapy as well, because remember, Mercury relates to communication. In the tradition, we find the association with Mercury and with healing, as well as with articulate communication, which is a very important faculty for any therapist or healer. The person will be gifted with channeling skills in some capacity, perhaps untapped into, but certainly in potential. They may have a soothingly therapeutic voice, for example, and very likely a deep listening capacity. The person is likely to be psychologically insightful, as well as having an intuitive sense of perhaps other people's emotions or ailments of some sort. In fact, it might be that those of us with healing stigmata have worked through many lifetimes as a healer or a doctor or a therapist in some capacity. Now have a look at this illustration, and as you can see, there are lines underneath the healing stigmata. And these vertical lines that appear below the waterline, the heart line that is, in the old palmistry, on the upper Mars, or otherwise known as the Uranus mounts, will further increase the person's ability to practice healing or to channel healing energy. And incidentally, that mount, which is traditionally the upper Mars mount, is also called the Pluto mount in some systems, but we like to think of it as the Uranus mount in our 5-element system. Extra lines on this area will really add to the potential of using all the qualities that go with the healing stigmata. Of course, like with all of hand reading, one would need to cross-reference the hands to see whether or not these lines are supported by other positive markers, like, for example, a very full, well-formed Mercury mount and a nice long baby finger, Mercury finger, would obviously be a positive and help to activate, as well as energy seen in the Venus mount that would be important if one wants to work as a healer. If, on the other hand, we have deficient Venus mounts, maybe a small, low set, or even worse, bent baby finger with a deficient Mercury mount, then the healing stigmata's energies are not as powerful, or they don't hold as much potential. So, as with all markers, we look elsewhere in the hand to see whether they're augmented or their potential is augmented by the other features of the hand. The other thing to consider is that there are other lines on Mercury as well. For example, children lines, which are the little tiny lines which cross the relationship lines. I'll speak about that in another video. And then we've got the minor air line, otherwise known as the hepatica or the health line, and that could also possibly have several component parts up towards Mercury. So here's where we use our intuition to decide, are these children lines, are they hepatica lines, or are they healing stigmata? You really want to feel into, do these lines speak to you of the capacity in that person or in yourself to channel healing energy, to work as a dialogue therapist, perhaps have a lot of information to convey. It might be around health matters in general, in fact, and perhaps even lay hands and work as that type of healer, like, for example, with Reiki. So if you or people you know, people whose hands you're looking at, have these beautiful markings, it's a great blessing. That's it for today on this little topic of healing stigmata. And next week I'll be talking about a whirl on a baby finger, whirls on pinky fingers. And if you'd like a reading with me, or if you'd like to study with me, please don't hesitate to contact me. You'll find my info at the end of this video. Bye for now.